So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop. Prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No! You can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's Zenni.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. You might have heard that live shopping is exploding, and I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. How are you? Well, come on in here. So nice to have you here today. So I've got some questions today I'm going to give you, and if you do these questions, and I'll give you all the details about how to do them. If you do them every single day, it'll transform your life. It's a big promise? Yeah, but it's true.
I need a boost. I need a daily boost. I need a boost. I need a daily boost.
Water, check. Bubbly water on top of that, check. Steaming cup of coffee, double check. And the red button is glowing on the podcast recording thing. We're good to go. It's a Daily Boost. My name is Scott. Good to have you. Thanks for stopping by today. I'm just going to roll into it. If it's okay, just kind of roll into today's show. Just don't feel like doing much else. I guess I probably should sell you something. It does help pay the bills, but why not? Heck with that. Let's just do the show today, okay? So I just got off a Face Your Passion Inner Circle call, and it was an amazing call, as it always is. I've been doing this program for about 26 months now, I think. Several hundred calls now already. And we were talking about my daily awareness diary. Now, you've heard me mention that before. It's got, at this point, 10 questions on it. We're going to go through these questions in a second. And by the way, if you just got repelled by something called daily, something called awareness, and something called diary, chill out, okay? Hang tight. Because I'm going to take you down a path today that if you're willing to go down this path, and my guess is you're going to let out, some of you will go, thank God somebody's thinking like this. It's going to change some things. So let me tell you how this started, give you some framing so you understand before we get into the questions, because that won't take that long. Let me frame this up for you and tell you why this came to be. So I've done this forever in my world of coaching. One of the things I do as a coach is this: I kind of figure things out. I recognize patterns in you. If you were to talk to me on a call, the very first thing I have to do is kind of listen to you and kind of ask some questions and kind of see if I can, if you will, diagnose what's kind of going on. I read between the lines. I use some wisdom, some training I have, and that's kind of what I do. If I can't do that, I can't help you. But the truth is, you could do that yourself, and you should. So I wanted to devise something that gave you the ability to be able to do that. And I also wanted to kind of take the standard personal development garbage that you see, and I say that in the nicest way, okay, the garbage. What I mean by that is, if you look around you, you don't have to know too much about personal growth to exist in life, do you? I mean, becoming an adult, just a basic person, you don't have to know a whole lot of anything. And in fact, you could be pretty successful not knowing much of anything. Some people jump overboard and just focus in on the tactics and the strategies endlessly, and they just keep going after something new, and they don't need it. So over time, I've learned something. I've learned that less is more. That more, the more life, the more happiness, the more joy you want in your life is literally lies on the other side of less. And when I say less, I don't mean minimalism. I mean, we're just going to take some of the complexity out, take some of the friction out, get the friction out, and we end up with the stuff that really makes sense to us. So that's where this whole thing started. It came over a long period of time of me just kind of figuring out that, well, okay, that stuff kind of works. What really works? And this is where we got to. So now, when I started Face Your Passion, I recognized there were a couple things I had to do here. So the Daily Awareness Diary fit into the one category that I recognized, and that was called anticipation level, or not anticipation, awareness level. Meaning, what is your level of awareness? If your head is up your butt or stuck in the sand, you're not aware about anything. And guys, I got to tell you, in a lot of cases, people are not paying attention to what's going on around them. You're not legitimately looking at what's in front of you. In fact, as a coach, I will tell you that a coach's job is to call those things out to you. And you could do it yourself, and you could do it every single day. So I very, very quickly became aware that the mind has to be fully aware, and the level has to be very high in every level of your life. We needed a mechanism to do that. Secondly, I recognized that we had to have a peaceful base. It's a term I coined a ways back. And what that meant was, if your life is a hot mess, you can't make a cool life. You just can't do it. Because I mean, listen, you can make all the money in the world, but if your marriage is falling apart, life is not good. It's just not. And so it has to be balanced out, and it's not the sexiest thing in the world that people want to do. And yet, I think when we sleep at night, the reason we sleep well is because we do have a balanced, peaceful base. So I recognize no matter what, that's what we have to do. So we become aware of what we want and what's going on in our life, and then we build this base that feels good. We can live in it. It's good stuff. It kind of gives us a solid place to stand on. And finally, we lived in that world for a little bit, and I recognized that people love that, and yet my clients are pushing back on me. They said, yeah, but we want to go for it. We want to have more impact. We have goals. We just don't want to sit here in our peaceful, content base. I said, yeah, you're right. I get it. And so I created a mechanism a ways back called the anticipation engine. And I did this because I became very aware of how excited that I got over certain things. Even as a child, when Christmas was coming, I couldn't wait for Christmas morning. And I saw it my own kids. And even today, if I'm going to go on a trip or going to buy something, I'm like, man, I can't wait. I just got off this call and my client, Paula, got a new camper. She was so excited to get it. She was like a kid on Christmas morning to get this brand new camper. This lives inside of us. And one day I correlated the difference. I said, okay, so anticipation is simply, it's a list of things that are coming up that make us excited, but actually it's a fancy way of saying really cool goals, things that we want to go. Because if you think about a goal, you're not anticipating the work that you have to do to get to a goal. That you don't want to do that. You'll do the work to get there. Well, sometimes you will. But what you're really anticipating is the outcome. You want what's on the other side. That's what drives the goal. So the trick is, if you get excited enough about anything, you will naturally do whatever it takes to get there. So I began to take goal setting and throw it inside, anticipation engine. And we built an engine on that. So the kind of the triangle of what we do here is become very aware, build a really nice peaceful base, and then have a huge anticipation engine to drive every goal you could ever ask for. That's where it began. But then I said, well, how do I raise the awareness? And that's where the Daily Awareness Diary came into play. Now, let me give you the concept behind the Daily Awareness Diary, so you understand my thinking here. It's very different. It's different than most people do. And the reason I came up with this was because I was looking at people kind of going to seminars or, well, what are your values? List your value list and list your beliefs and list your behaviors. And you'd make stuff up. You've done it, right? Or you get a list off the internet. That's who I am. I'm this person. And it's just not true. And fact is, you're always lying to yourself. I know, because I do too. The truth is that if we can capture your actions as if it's like a diet audit, if we can capture what's going on in your life, we can expose a lot about you that you may not want to see, but when you do see it, you can't unsee it, right? That was the theory behind it. And then I thought, well, listen, if I could get you to answer 10 questions a day, at the time it was 9, now it's 10, and same questions every single day for a period of time, and usually 10, 14 days is enough to get started. If I get you to do that, the same question every single day, life would change around you. And while life changed around you and you answered the same questions, we would end up with a really nice sample of how your life is actually being lived in real time.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The lone wolf, who you thought was a good collaborator because you didn't have the right candidate insights. But once you hired them, it was all hoarding info, declining meetings, and howling at the full moon? But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can go deeper than just the resume to find you a perfect fit by using insights from the LinkedIn network to give you a short list of best fit candidates. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
And then I would take that and toss it into AI. We built a really nice pattern recognition engine that goes inside that. And what it does, it literally reads between the lines. And its whole goal is like, well, I mean, my theory was this. It was just, okay, well, if you were upset about not doing something, that would automatically tell me you kind of value that, right? And so we're able to extract this information, recognize these patterns in you, and then come to a conclusion about who you are on the inside. It has been so powerful that the people that do it religiously every single day. They will not get away from it. It's such a grounding mechanism. So that's the 7-minute and 50-second setup for what I'm about ready to teach you. And I'm not going to teach you everything. I'm going to give you the questions. I'm not going to go a whole lot deeper. A, I don't have the time. And B, I hope you don't hate me for this, but you're not a client. You're not a client. This is good stuff that will transform your life. If you want the inside, you want the full thing, if you want to understand, listen closely, coming soon. You'll have a chance on Operation Reinvention, or you can join Face Your Passion. I'm very happy to work with you. But at this point, I think you can do pretty well with this on your own. In fact, I know you can. That's why I'm going to share it with you. So we're going to share it, but don't get mad at me. Some people will, but petty stuff. First question we ask every single morning. Retrospection is the theme. What stood out today or yesterday? What stood out yesterday? So if you imagine you're talking about yesterday, so it's today, whatever today is, and yesterday is what you're thinking about. First thing you do is retrospectively, what stood out yesterday? How did you feel? Were you proud, energized, frustrated, disappointed? What's it going to reveal about you? And I'm not talking about what did you do yesterday. Well, I went and got my hair done. I went and had some dinner. No. Most of us set off in the day with some kind of intention. And did we get it or did we not get it? How do we feel about it? Did we push forward in our dreams? Did we try to make more money in our business? And did we get distracted? Did it not happen? All that crap, right? All the stuff that happens in life that gets you frustrated. So it's going to be a big week, and Friday, man, I got nothing done. Retrospection allows us to take just a moment in time, literally a minute, and say, well, how do I feel about what happened yesterday? Did it work out the way I thought it was going to work out? Maybe the best way to say that. So you spend some time with that. The next question is perspection. You're the only animal on the planet that can actually prospectively create your day. In other words, a dog doesn't get up and say, well, today I'm going to go out and paint a picture and I'm going to make the best day ever. No, a dog just gets up and says, well, I don't know what they say. Probably nothing, right? What will move you forward today? If today goes well, what will you create? Improve, advance. What would make today more meaningful? Prospectively, that's all. So we're not trying to do a diary. It's not a journal. It's like, okay, wait a second. What am I going to do today? And how am I going to feel about it today? I know it's kind of, I know wishy-washy, right? I got a wishy-washy part of me. I do. And so do you, because you're emotional creatures first. So this is designed not to let you logically write stuff down. A lot of you logic people are going to do that. You're going to make a list of things. When I work with you, it takes about 2 weeks for most of the people I work with to knock the logic out of them and say, would you stop being logical and just express yourself or what you feel? Once we can do that, we can transform the expression, what you feel, into logic. We can absolutely transform that. But if you stay in logic, you're just making a list of stuff that means nothing to you. And all you project managers in my audience, you guys, and your spreadsheets, this ain't a spreadsheet. Number 3, question I've asked for many years, how do I want to feel today? It's an emotional state. Which one do you want to carry today? If you want to feel a certain way today, just project it, decide it today, right now. We do it every single day. We intentionally get to say how I want to feel today. Of course, if it messes up, tomorrow you get to do retrospection again. And if you didn't get what you wanted, then you get to say, well, I didn't get, but now what am I going to do about it, right? See how this works? Number 4, who am I praying for? If you're not a religious person, you can meditate. That's fine. Same thing, by the way. Who am I praying for? Who comes to mind right away? Why are they on your mind? I put this in because I recognize something. I recognize that sometimes it's out of sight, out of mind, and sometimes I'm not thinking about the people I need to be thinking about. I said, well, let's put a place in where every single day I'm reminded to think about somebody. That's all that's for. Powerful stuff. What am I praying for? Or, again, what are you meditating for? What outcome? What guidance? What strength? What clarity? What are you looking for? What Maserati do you want? I don't care what it is. What are you praying for? Again, out of sight, out of mind. Most of you all make lists and you put them away, you never look at them again. I'm saying every single day we're looking at not even our list. We're just looking at what's on our mind. Number 6, who do I want to connect with? Who would make today better if I reached out? Why does it matter now? This started when I recognized that somebody I knew on Facebook very well, a friend for a long time, I hadn't connected with for a while. I checked in on them on Facebook and found they died 2 years earlier. I went, well, okay, that's not going to work anymore. So I said, let's put it in a reminder. Who am I want to connect with today? That evolved to business. It evolved to people I don't even know. Sometimes I'll see somebody on TV and go, yeah, man, it'd be cool to connect with them, to meet them. Let me see if I can do that. It kind of expanded to that. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's just your daughter. Number 7, pre-planned responses. What situations or encounters might test you today? Not my monkey, not my circus. How are you going to handle that, right? By the way, somebody said to me, I love it when you say not my monkey, not my circus. And it's not mine. I don't know who said that initially. I have no idea. But truthfully, a lot of what happens in your life is not your monkey, it's not your circus, but you still have to respond to it in some way. But I had to remind them too, some days it is your monkey and it is your circus. And sometimes you have to respond to yourself. Number 8, conclusion. What's your current mindset? Are you calm? You're focused? You're pressured? Distracted? Hopeful? Uncertain? What is it? Interesting, I put conclusion in there because my common sense, my Scott logic told me that after answering 7 questions in advance, that I would very likely, have you ever done this? You've written something down and like you're writing, oh man, I know what's going on now, right? And I just found that I always had a conclusion for what I just written. And so I just write it down. How does it make me feel right now? Where's my mindset? This is one of the most powerful things people do. After that, we rolled into number 9, a personal affirmation. What truth do you need to remind yourself about today? Again, I am, and it's an affirmation. A lot of you guys have affirmations that you put on your mirror all the time, and you read them back, but they're somebody else's, right? But what if it makes sense to me that after doing 9 questions, 8 questions, that you would probably have something nice you could say about yourself. And so I asked people, I actually asked Chip this morning, and he loves that part. I said, do you do that? He said, I love it. I said, you probably have a couple hundred. He said, yeah, I do. So I've written personal. Imagine if you had a book of personal affirmations that drove you and inspired you, and you had hundreds of them. They were all about you, and they were written by you. Imagine how powerful that would be. That's what this does for you. And the one we added recently was the hidden signal. What did you avoid yesterday? And what thought, concern, or idea kept returning into your mind? This is so powerful. It works really, really well. And when we added that, we pushed that kind of against everything else. Everything else is kind of a positive, kind of thinking about where I am, what I'm doing. And then we literally put the truth at your feet and say, okay, let's be honest now, okay? And you just take about 60 seconds and you write something. And by the way, when we do this, it's simply a matter of just whatever comes to mind, just write it down and move on. Get up the next day and do it. A couple of weeks later, we toss it into the pattern recognition engine, our AI machine, and you are exposed. And you will either run with it or you will hide from it. But most people say, my God, that is me. Anyway, there you go. I'm not going to go any deeper than that today. You got enough to play with. Just run with it. I think you might be surprised what it does for you. And if you're a coach, don't steal my stuff, okay? Stop it.